Hello YouTubers, this is the noobifier. I wanted to punch out a quick little video to cover this because this morning all I actually wanted to do was take a look at Spectrum to see what's going on. I do this on Mondays to prepare for the upcoming installment of Community Concerns. I got sucked in for an hour or two reading thread after thread about PvP sliders. Can't believe this is still dominating the forum. Honestly, this is going on for 2 weeks now. And I wanted to say for anyone fighting for or against it, I think you're wasting your breath. The noise isn't helping. Sorry. It doesn't matter what you say or how vigorously you say it, you're debating an undebatable, and I'm going to try to explain why. Eventually, as this game is worked on and more missing parts are added, everyone on either side of this issue is actually going to get what they want, or at least I think they will. I find it interesting to see both sides choosing to back up their position with anything ever said or written from the company without considering that perhaps those statements, facts, those guides, those documents and videos are just outdated ideas and are no longer even relevant. They've said a couple times that the original framework documents were the idea when they were published, but not necessarily the rule. And that doesn't mean that they're not good anymore, it just means we can't take them as gospel. We can see that now in the more recent implementation of Death of a Spaceman. It doesn't really conform to the original document from 2013. Discussions and conversations became heated as people have an emotional attachment to the game project, and that's quite fine, and I actually think that's really positive. We need that strong community of players who care, and care so much that they're willing to fight about it. It's good that we care, but like it or not, all of this banter is just seen as noise by the developers. We've been told that recently. I can appreciate though that they see the community at the macro level. For 10 years, there's been a constant stream of suggestions and issues brought forth by the community. We're always talking about something, somewhere, and that hum, I suppose, can be seen as noise. And I've never felt as if anyone at CIG really cares what I post, but for the sake of the community, I'm going to try, so here we go at the beginning. A PvP slider is similar to a difficulty rating on a single-player game. The main reason that people might want them is so that they can be left alone and run cargo to do mining without the risk of being killed, ganked, pirated, double-crossed, catfished, PK'd, or anything else. We all agree that this happens, and this is a real thing. Those activities such as dogfighting are more fun for all parties when both parties could actually win. The gameplay fun comes from the choice of wanting to win. If you aren't a good dogfighter, perhaps one argument might be that you should get a bunch of friends and travel as a group. Perhaps you fancy yourself as a good dogfighter and may choose to offer your services as an escort. That stance of get good might be valid, but is quite narrow-minded. There are serious implications to the future of the game as pitched if we give people the ability to simply turn off PvP. Starcitizen will die if you just turn off PvP, so let's unpack that. There's a pro and con, and neither side is wrong. Neither side is out to lunch. IRL here on Earth, I know that there are places that are relatively secure. I also know that there are places where nothing can be trusted and my life is always at risk. Is this then art imitating life? A proposed game universe grounded on the reality of our own history? Those who would like a button to disable or opt out of PvP, those who are asking for private servers where they can't be attacked, have as much right to enjoy the game as they want it as any other backer. And simply telling those that they bought the wrong game or get good isn't helping despite my own interest in PvP. I enjoy the challenge of playing against a real player and not AI. The reason it's being asked for is because it isn't fun to grind for 18 hours just to have some Yahoo swing in, kill everyone, and blow everything up. That isn't really seen as good gameplay. They call it non-consensual PvP and wish to avoid it. Griefing, PKing, piracy, murder, trolling, and pad ramming. Please, Chris, give me a button so I can turn it off and grind my time away in peace. The game isn't going to be fun when I'm being killed all the time. They say, let me have all the PvE I can handle, but keep those hostile players away from me. Some of these concepts originally come from Chris himself. Not that they were misrepresented or misinterpreted, they were actually promises, and whether or not he can deliver on some of them might be a topic for another video. Not that there's no desire to make everyone happy, but now that the project has evolved in scope and scale, they may no longer be even possible. Perhaps in 2013, a private server might have been a good idea, but the idea seems impractical and possibly even game-breaking now that the game has expanded so much. Is it possible to make two server choices? The main server and the PvP disabled server? Sure, but we don't actually need to split the player base this way. Chris envisioned that piracy is supposed to be half of the player base. Chris wants you to be able to play good or bad, and the newest work on reputation is a big part of that becoming viable. So please understand that to provide all of these game loops to all players really need to be in the same server. Having no subsumption is a major factor as to why the universe is so lopsided. Law, bounty, prison, and security are all tied directly into subsumption. High sec, low sec, these are other factors that aren't realized yet. Stanton is actually known for being quite lawless. Pyro is known for being even worse. The idea of a starter or safe system is coming, but it's obviously not implemented yet, which is why I say there will be something for everyone, and waiting is what we do best, and we need to wait a little more. I'm certain that there'll be something for the more casual player who has that hour after work before dinner to take a break and mine some rocks in peace. A space where the rocks are close and you can mine and grind. A space where the salvage is close and you can go collect it. A space where cargo's close, etc., etc. Those bigger payouts come with the risk. Just like in real life, I know that there are places where I can go and be totally safe. I'm safe because it's monitored, because it's patrolled, and law is enforced. I also know where not to go and where not to be alone. When the game is realized, you're going to get your PvP slider whether you like it or not. It just won't be in the options menu. You choose where to go and decide how much risk you want. So we need to trust development. We have to be a little bit more patient and look at the larger picture of how all of this fits together. And I will end by saying that being an alpha with wipes incoming in the future, the developers are unlikely to add any band-aid solution to a problem that already has a good solution mapped out. So now it's really up to you to comment in the comments with your comments. Are you a player who wants a PvP slider? And would what I propose in the video result in a good solution? Would it be okay to have safe space in a set of systems that you know are protected by local security? And then would it also be okay that leaving that space increases the risk? Thank you very much for spending your time with me. If you think the topic is cool and got something out of the video, please consider sharing it with a friend or orgmate. Eventually, all of this is going to come together, and I hope that it'll make sense. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.